Hello and welcome to our Totally Beads Live today. It is a much more overcast morning, not as bright and cheery as it has been, but we have some lovely little bracelets for you today. I'm hoping I am live and all is well and everybody can hear me and see me okay. So the bracelets that we've got for you today are these lovely Anisa elastic bracelets. So it's just made on the flat elastic or floss. I'm not too sure of the dimensions of this because I've just put it as floss elastic and it should be added into your baskets if you want to get your kit. We're using lots of lovely pearls for making a little diamante shape. And then we also have some little cube spaces and round spaces in the inside. It's a really comfortable wear, fits the wrist quite nicely because it's elastic. I've made mine fairly snug so it sits exactly where I want it to be and it's easy to get on and off. I've got 5 lovely colours for you, so I will show you them before I take you down on the mat if my camera will allow. Let's bring this one in. So the one I'm wearing at the moment is like a lovely turquoise colour. We've got one in a lovely light green. We have one in a lovely kind of ivory white. A beautiful, this is purple. It's looking blue on my light, but I guarantee you it's a very rich royal purple. So that's a bit weird, isn't it? Because that looks very much royal blue, but I will show you off the bust and see if that changes. And then we have a lovely pink. They're all with the gold spaces, so the rounds and the cubes. Let's see if I take these off. Can we get this to look more purple? It's still looking quite blue. And I will take you over to the website now and you can have a little look at them. So let me say good morning to those who have just joined us. I'll pop them over there. We have the very lovely Elaine and she says, good morning, Natalie and everybody. Good morning to you, my love. Hello to Edward. Hello to Lisa. Heather's in as well. Hello, Heather. Thank you so much for sharing your lovely makes with us. I like to see what you're making. Camille's in. She says, good morning, Natalie. Bright but feels cold. How was your weekend? Very good, very busy. I'm feeling a little bit tired, to be honest, because I always have an early start when I've got a show, but I had a bit of an issue at the hotel with the fire alarm going off twice. One at 1 a.m. and one about 3:30, 20 to 4, and I'm up quite early, so I wasn't a happy bunny, especially when I found out why the fire alarm had gone off, but you have to be safe, and big shout out to the fire brigade who was there in minutes, like literally within under 10 minutes, I think they were there. So very, very lucky to have people keeping us safe. So could have been a lot worse. And the weather was okay. It wasn't raining when we had to evacuate. Good morning to Rachel. She says, hello from a wet barrow. Off to GP surgery for a blood pressure check. I hope it goes well for you, Rachel. Heather is liking the pink and the green and the white. We have got a bundle offer for you, Heather, so if you want to mix your colours up, these would look lovely if you did want to add in those different coloured pearls as well. And good morning to Julie, who's saying hello to everybody. So I'm going to take you over to the website now while I've got a few of you in. Hi, Carol, how are you doing? Let me see, can I just get that screen to disappear? Should we just leave it there at the bottom and I'll leave my wrist there so you can see what we're doing? Right, let me take you over. Hello, Anne, how are you doing? She says cold but sunny in Yorkshire. I don't think it's too cold, but it's definitely not warm like it has been. Right, so if you want to get your kits with us today, it is totallybeads.co.uk is the website that you want to head over to. You can go into our video tutorial category, as always, whichever one you want to get into. And you'll see it's an Anisa bracelet today. Anisa, I think, comes from, I think it's an Arabic name where it derives from. And I think it means companion or faithful friend. And I thought that was a very pretty name and it would go with very pretty bracelets. So you can see here we have a bundle offer on for you. So if you can't decide which colour you want, or you want one in every single colour, that's been reduced. It should have been £12.50. It's just £8.99 now for all of the 5 bracelets. So that's going to make one bracelet and you're going to get all of your spaces, all of your elastic, all of your lovely, lovely pearls or your glass pearls to play with. If you want to buy them individually, then we've got a buttermilk for you, which is that kind of white colour, quite wedding-y, I must admit. We've also got, that's just a word now, isn't it? Wedding-y. Suitable for weddings and occasions. We've got light green, which is a really, really very beautiful summery colour. And we have the rose pink, which is very summery too, because it's quite pastel. So they'd look lovely mixed. All three of them would look lovely mixed. You could do your centre diamond in one colour, and then you could alternate the colours running through here, which I think would look absolutely lovely. We've also got the royal purple. See, it's looking more purple there. It's like that chocolate box purple, if you know what chocolate I'm referring to. And then we've also got the turquoise as well. Now these are elastic, so you can make them to size really easily. All you need to do is just deduct or add in some of the pearls running around the back. I've put about 40 pearls on each side, but the one that I'm wearing on my wrist, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, I've got probably about 30 maybe on my wrist. So you can make them bigger or smaller quite easily. I didn't do a good job of counting there because I was trying to twist my wrist around. So I'll show you exactly what you're getting in each kit. You are getting your floss or flat elastic. It is called flat elastic. I'd call it floss because it's a bit like dental floss. It's got lots of thin fibres, which means I can get it through my large eye needle, which I would recommend if you haven't got them, adding them into your basket, and then you can run it through your pearls. The drill holes in your gold spaces, the cubes and the rounds, are more than large enough to be able to fit a floss through multiple times, and probably a 0.6 elastic as well. But the drill holes in your pearls, because they're coated in that beautiful colour, is a little bit tricky. So you are going to need 2 large eye needles. You could use 1, but I think it's easier with 2. So add them into your basket if you need to as well. So we've got the glass pearl rounds, your spacer cubes and your spacer rounds and your elastic, and that's it. You're pretty much good to go. If you want to know exactly what dimensions and sizes, then I'm using 4mm on everything. 4mm spacer cubes, 4mm glass pearl rounds, and 4mm gold round acrylic beads as well. They are acrylic, these spacers, so it's a nice lightweight bracelet. It's not too heavy. And it holds its shape very, very lovely. This is how it looks on, and you can see it on my wrist. It is meant to be worn. When it's flat, it's this wonderful little shape. So you're just going to be putting your wrist through the centre, and then it will open it out. So you've got like 2 straps essentially with those lovely little cubes. So that one is your buttermilk, and they are £2.50, by the way. £2.50 for a bracelet. It's going to take you about 15 minutes to make, if that. So this one here is the lovely light green. Again, really lovely for spring. Just think it's a really gorgeous colour. It's got this lovely kind of like a sea foamy mint colour to it, if I can describe it in any better way. If you've got a better name for these descriptions, then do let me know. And then of course you've got your spacer cubes and your spacer rounds and your floss elastic. This is how it shouldn't look. This is what it's going to look like when you pop it on your dressing table. This is what it's going to look like when it's on your wrist. Very, very pretty. £2.50. You can't say fairer than that, can you? Mix one bracelet up, and if you want to get the 5, you can do. This one is your lovely rose pink. Again, all the same dimensions, 4mm on both of the cube and the round spaces, and the glass pearls as well. I should probably find out exactly what size the floss elastic is, shouldn't I, for you? This one is the royal purple. I'm hoping you can see it's a little bit more purple. It's proper purple. There's no blue to it. It's as purple as it gets. And I can't think of any other purple like it other than that famous chocolate box colour. Say chocolate box. I haven't had a box of those in a long time. The wrapper, it's the same colour as the purple chocolate wrapper. This one is your purple one. I don't really know why I'm showing it flat, because it just looks like it's meant to be here. You've got that gorgeous diamond shape in the middle. Really, really comfortable wear. And of course it is elastic, so you can adjust that size. So if you make it and you know it's a little bit snug, all that's going to do is just stretch out a little bit. this one is your turquoise. This is the one that's on my wrist. Again, this is how it's going to look on your dresser when you take it off. And then when you pop your wrist through, it's going to look lovely like that. I'm bouncing around all over the place today on the screen. I hope you can see this well. So 4mm in your glass pearls in beautiful colours, your spacer cubes and your spacer round beads and your flat elastic all in your kit today, which will give you enough to make one lovely bracelet for the bargain price of £2.50. We ship worldwide, so you can change your currency if you wish at the top of the page just here. Or if you don't want to add each individual one into your basket, you can get all 5 colour bundles for £8.99, which has been reduced from £12.50 for you. So a lovely offer. I do hope you like them. Let me just check if I write floss or flat elastic. Let's see exactly if it's going to tell me the size. A 0.5 of the flat elastic is what I'm assuming I'm working with. I think they're all 0.5. You can see you can get them in different colours as well. So if you wanted to add more elastic into your kit, you might think, actually, I want to go for the pink with the pink pearls. You can add them in. They're only £1 and you're getting a whole 10 meters of that. So you can always add extras into your basket. Again, if you wanted to get more of, say, the cube spaces because you think they're particularly lovely like I do, then you can just add them in. They're 15 pieces for £1.50, and you can add any extra components you want into your basket there. So should we get making? Because it's really straightforward. I will stop sharing that screen. I will bring my wrist up again so you can see how it fits and how it looks. Give me a Cadbury's purple. Oh, I said it. I said it. It's just looking blue, isn't it? It's looking like a really navy blue there. So we've got a purple, a pink, a buttermilk, a green, and we have this lovely turquoise. I will show you the colours again so you can see. This is looking quite true to how it is. This is looking very true to how it is. The pink is also looking very true to what it is. The turquoise is, but this is purple. Gorgeous. I love the colours against the gold as well. Good morning to Sheila. Hello to Debbie. Sheila says she's liking the look of these bracelets, Natalie. Thank you. I aim to please. I know. Well, you can't start saying the tagline, Heather. I do, though. She's saying the tagline to that famous thing that shouldn't probably be mentioned. It's not a product placement. I'm not sponsored, but if they do want to send me freebies, I'm happy for that. Good morning, Esther. She says good morning from a dullish Preston. She's on Grandma GCs today, so she's going to watch us back on playback. Oh, Rachel, I'm hoping you're okay. Your poor mum, she had a fall on Friday and she's fractured a hip. She had surgery to pin the bone. Oh, my goodness. Rach, sending you loads of love, and I'm hoping your mum has a speedy recovery. Camille is saying good morning to my mum and my little one. Oh, they are watching. There she is. Hello, mummy. Nanny and me are watching on the telly, says my Frank. Hi, babe. You all right? Joanne's hoping everyone's had a lovely weekend, and everyone's talking about the change in the weather as well. So good morning, Pauline, how you doing, my love? Let me get my elastic out. So we said it was what, a 0.5 floss elastic. So if I can compare for you the elastics, this one here is a 0.6, and you can see it's just one straight. I don't think I need my blackboard down today. You should be able to see. It's just one thick-ish piece of wire of elastic. When it comes to the floss, your floss is lots of fibres, and they're kind of bound together. They will pull apart, so make sure you trim it nice and flush because it can fray. So trim it nice and flush with your flush cutters. In terms of tools, all you need is scissors or a pair of cutters. I'm going to suggest 2 large or big eye needles, and that means it's one needle with a big hole instead of a tiny little eyelet at the end. You've got that big space in between to fit anything you want through there. It's good for working with cords, but I really do like it with the floss because it means I can fit it through those tiny little pearls. And then you will need, you can use some clear nail varnish or some glue if you want, just to catch the knot at the end, just to make it extra sturdy. And maybe a ruler to measure out your floss. That's exactly all we need. So in terms of the flat elastic, I'm using about 20 inches. Obviously it stretches. Now we usually say condition your elastic before you use it. That just means give it a little pull. All elastic will stretch out over time, so I'm just giving it a little pull through, and that means it will stay true to size for that little bit longer. Obviously when you are putting bracelets on and off, we always suggest that you roll it down your hands rather than opening it up, just to make sure that it doesn't snap. And if you are storing your elastic, so if you bought some elastic, keep it in. If it comes in one of the little bags, I have got a little bag to hand here. This is just what I put my kits in, and I make a little note of what I'm doing on it. If you keep your little plastic bag, then keep your elastic in your bag, in a little plastic bag. That will prevent the air getting to it, and it will stop it going brittle, and it will last so much longer. When you get one of these reels or one of the floss reels, it lasts for ages because you only tend to need a little bit per project. So look after your materials. The only thing I would say never store in a plastic bag is a real pearl. So if you've got a freshwater pearl, pearls don't like elastic. They need to breathe. Don't like elastic, don't like plastic. They need to breathe. But keep your elastic in a little bag if you can. It'll last that little bit longer. So that's just the preparation. I'm cutting about 20 inches, which is about 50 centimetres. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place on my large eye needles onto each end. So I'm just opening up the large eye needle by giving it a little open up in the centre, and then popping my floss or my flat elastic. I should probably stop calling it floss because I don't think that's its technical name, but it is like dental floss. As I say, it's just got lots of fibres. So I'm putting my large or big eye needles, I'll show you them on the website as well if you want to add them into your basket, and they're just going to go on both ends. So I'm going to start off by taking 3 of my 4mm pearls and placing them into the centre. So I'm just picking them up and popping 3 onto one of the needles, and I'm going to pull them down into the centre. Now the way I get my centre is I bring my needles together. And what's lovely is usually with things, when I'm, say if I'm using tiger tail or a beading thread or whatever, they do move around because that elastic's got that kind of grippiness. They will stay in the middle. So by bringing those 2 needles up together, I'm finding that centre really quite easily, and it's not going to move too much. Heather says, I love a big eye needle. I can't thread the other ones. I love a big eye needle. I don't like needles, but I like these ones. Okay, once I've added my 3 pearls onto the centre, I'm just going to take my first spacer bead. Let me get a couple of these out, and I'm going to use the round spacer, which again is 4mm, and I'm placing that on to one end, and then I'm taking the other end back through in the opposite direction. So it's a bit like a right angle weave that we do. So both pieces of the floss are running in in 2 different directions, so they cross over in the middle. And then I'm going to bring that up, or bring it down by just drawing away those 2 ends, and that's going to make this lovely little, almost a loop, like a little flower. This is just this section here. One of those. Good morning, Mina. How you doing, my love? You okay? I'm then going to take, let me get my pearls out. I've got some to the size, but I wanted to get some extra ones. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I counted them out first, you see. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another one of my round spacers, and I'm going to place that on to one side, and I'm going to take 3 pearls again, and I'm popping them onto the same side. So I've got 1 round spacer and 3 pearls. Bringing that down, and I'm going to bring that down fairly close, but I can move it in a second and adjust it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass that same side, that needle, just through that spacer. So that's the second spacer that we've just put on. It's going to go round in a loop and back through it. I'm not going through the pearls, I'm just going through that spacer. And then I'm just going to move that spacer up towards the other one. Doesn't have to be too close, but I'll keep my finger on it. And then as I draw that across, I've got 2 little loops. It's going to sit just there. Don't worry about your tension too much at the moment. I'm then going to take another spacer. I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. So I'm taking up my next thread of elastic, I'm popping on the spacer, and then I'm going to add on those 3 pearls. Bringing them right down. So it's like this. I've got some more in my bag. Did have some extras. Where are you hiding? And then I'm going to just run that needle back in the same direction. So I'm making that loop here, and I'm just going to go up that spacer on that side. And that's going to make... No, I've done that wrong. Do you know what I've done? I brought it back through the same direction and I want to go round. So let me just bring that back out again. There we go. So I'm bringing it round and through. So I want to make a loop. I'm not bringing it back up because it won't sit right. So I'm passing it through. Can you see the way that crosses through there? And then as I make that loop, there you go, that's better. So I've got my 3 little loops sitting like so. I'm going to take my next round spacer, my last round spacer, because I only need 4 of these, and I'm going to pop it onto one side, any side, it doesn't matter which, and then I'm taking that elastic from the other needle and passing it back through. So we're crossing through the center again. I'm going to bring that down. And as I draw it together, you can adjust just to make sure that they're sitting nice and closely. So just keep my finger on it, and as I pull them, it's starting to make that diamond shape. So we have this section here. And then just to finish off that diamond, I'm going to add a pearl onto one side, just the one, a pearl onto the other side, and then I'm going to bring another pearl in, either on the left or the right, and then pass that thread and that floss needle going through. And then it will be a little bit tighter because that drill hole's smaller, but you can still pull on those threads. Just pull gently, just to close that down, and that will make your little diamond. So if I hold that up, you can see how we've got. Heather says, oops, they all fell in my basket. I hope you get the multi offer there, Heather, and you can get that discount today. Okay, all I need to do now is start adding in my lovely cube spacers. So you can see they're really pretty. They've got a nice generous drill hole in the middle, and they've got those lovely pointy cube corners. I'm going to add 1 onto each side, and then I'm going to add my pearls on If you want to mix colours of pearls, then I would suggest you do it at this point, so you can add in maybe the ivory and the green would look lovely together, and you could mix them. But what I'm doing here now is just placing them on for whatever size. So I've suggested 40 on each side, so 80 pearls in total. And in your kit, you'll have enough to make them, so they will be a nice large size. Obviously, they've got that stretch and the elasticity to it as well. So you just add on whatever you want in terms of your size, but add the same amount onto both. Let me just check how many I've got here. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm probably going to add 38 onto each instead, just because that's 39 onto each, just because that's what I've got to hand, rather than adding in the extras, but I've still got some left over from the strand. So what I'm going to do is add on the amount of pearls that I want and just thread them on. And see, this is why we need the large eye needle, because you're not going to be able to get that floss through that drill hole. It's too floppy. It hasn't got the rigidity that the normal elastic does. And even with a normal elastic with a 4mm pearl, I think you'll probably struggle. When I say normal, like round elastic, I think you'll struggle to get that through without having the large eye needle just to pull it on through. So just add on as many pearls as you like. I would suggest 40 on each side, but you can add more. You will have a few more in your kit. You might have decide you don't want as many, and then you just add less on. I think I added about 30 onto this one on my wrist, because I have got quite small wrists. I think that's 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. I think these would make, again, nice Easter gifts. We've got Easter this weekend, don't we? So if you wanted to have a little bit of spring jewellery, then this would be a nice option. I do also think this particular colour is quite suitable for bridal wear, but you don't have to have, not that you have to have white for bridal wear or an ivory or a buttermilk for bridal wear, and also you don't have to be a bride to want to wear this lovely colour. But it would look nice, I think, if you wanted to mix them up in terms of the pearls. That should be 25. Should we go for 30 instead of 40? And then I just accidentally make one for me. Morning. How are you doing? Hello to Alison. She says, I've made 7 diamonds, but this is much easier. Hello, Lucy. Hi, my love. I like your keychain that you shared today. Really lovely. Is that a little rose quartz heart that you've put on? I don't think we've got them left in stock, but Totally Beads used to do little hearts in rose quartz, and they were drilled like top to bottom. They were just lovely. I got them and I've used them for loads of stuff. They make nice earrings as well. I'm just counting out my pearls. Camille, you're not counting along with me. It's lovely to see you, Lucy. How's the house move going? So let me check how many I've got. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30. So I've put 30 on. I'd suggest you put 40 on. You're going to have more than enough in your kit. I might add a few more on. I think that should probably be a good size for me though. So we're just going to thread all of the same amount of pearls onto one as you are on the other. If you want to colour mix your pearls, if you've got that bundle like Heather I think has, then you can of course work your other colours into it. You could do whatever you want with that. You could do 3 of one colour and then 1 of another, 3 of one colour, 1 of another, or you can alternate. So you could do all 5 different colours just running in a repetition. Oh bless you. I hope it's going well. It's lovely to see you. You have been missed. I get lots of messages asking how you're doing. So for those of you who are new to us, our Lucy Lockett is, I'd call you our founding member, Lucy. She did an awful lot of the admin. She still runs the Share Your Makes page. So if there's any shenanigans going on our Totally Beads Handmade Facebook page where we all share our lovely makes, then we don't really get many shenanigans, do we, Lucy? It's a nice bunch. But yeah, she's on moderator. Lucy says it looks like a lovely make. It's a very easy one for you, Lucy. So she's very talented. She does the most amazing stitch beading. She says she doesn't like wire, but she's good at that when she gives it a go as well. Is there anything you can't do, Lucy? She also really likes doing like diamond art and makes the most amazing things with anything you give her, really. She loves a craft. You like a forever flower as well, don't you? Heather's saying her beads multiplying on her own. I think you have got something to do with that, Heather. It's you adding them into the basket. Lucy says, I still try to do my bit, but I haven't been very active lately. I'll be back to it soon when I'm settled. You've got to put yourself first. You've always got to put your health first. Crafting is something that I do for my mental health. But you've got to sometimes be in the right mindset and, of course, have the time to do it. This is a nice, quick project for you today. I've been chatting and counting out beads, but counting out the beads will probably be the thing that takes you the longest. I think you could get this done in about 15, 20 minutes, if that. So once you've added on all of your beads, and you should have the same amount on each side, you can count them. I'm just going to line them up and check it's roughly about the same. Okay, so you have your diamond. I mean, actually, that would make a beautiful pendant if you wanted to make as a necklace. If you were making as a necklace, I would use a thread, not an elastic. And you could stretch it over your head, I suppose. You could use it as an elastic, but I'd prefer to use this with a clasp. But I love the fact when I'm making something halfway through, I think actually I could have made something completely different with the same design. That would make a lovely necklace. But we're making a bracelet today. So after I have added on my beads, I'm adding on another one of those lovely cubes. And I'm adding my cubes onto each end. I'm then going to bring one side with the cube through this very bottom pearl on my diamond shape. Like so. Oh, this is going to be a very tiny bracelet knot. It will stretch. That was silly. Just want to make sure, and now's the time to do it, that I have checked that I'm happy with the positioning of all of my loops. So if you've got like a bit of a gap, just gently pull on the outside section of your diamante. There you go, just to straighten it up. So I'm past that row of beads and the cube through just one. I'm not running this back through the other side. I'm just going to tie these together now in a knot, and I'm going to do a surgeon's knot with that. So, or you can do a double knot, whatever's easiest for you. I am leaving the needle on, so we'll see. So I'm just passing one side through the middle, just as an overhand knot. And then I'm going to do it again, like a double knot. Only this time, when I pass it through, I'm just going to pass it through twice. So you can see it makes this kind of shape. I want to make it nice and tight, just to close that up. Now, when I knot my elastic, I pull my threads or my elastic cord away in that direction, but then I also like to tighten it up from the bottom. So I'll pull in the other way as well. I'm not doing it now because it's just slipped. So hold on to it, pull it in both directions. What I mean by that is the underneath cord, and that will knot it tighter. The thing with a floss is it can slide over each other, so we want to make sure that's really knotted. You can do one more for good luck, one more for next year as well if you want to. You can make these knots really, really bulky because it's going to hide inside that large, generous drill hole on that cube spacer. If you would like to, add a little bit of clear nail varnish or a little bit of glue to that knot, let it dry, and then pass both threads through the cube again. So just going to go through the cube nearest. I'm not running back through the pearl. I'm going to take both pieces of elastic back through that same spacer cube. Just making sure I don't pass it through the elastic itself. There you go. So my knot is going to hide in there. And then I'm just going to cut off. So pop a little bit of glue or clear nail varnish on first. I'm not, so I'm going to risk it. I'm just going to trim off. You don't have to pass it back through. You just want to make sure that when you cut off that you're not cutting too close to the knot. And then just pop the knot back through that cube. So you've got this quite unusual, weird little shape there, but what's going to happen is when you pop it on, it's going to go through this way, your wrist, and then it's just going to sit nice and pretty, like so. And that is it. Oh, look, she is back. So let's see if I can share it. It's been a while since I've shared a comment. So our lovely Lucy has shared the link for today's make. We are www.totallybeads.co.uk/Facebook-Facebook/Anisa-elastic-bracelets. And that is the link. If you want to click on that, it'll take you straight through to the website and you can get your hands on the kits today. I haven't done a / Lucy for ages. I've really missed you. Everybody's wishing you well. I hope you are well. I'm so glad to see you. It's lovely to have you with us. So I don't know how to hide it that way. There you go. I don't know whether I've just hid you completely in the comments now. Heather says, this is my bank holiday project. Oh, brilliant, Heather. I'm sure they'll keep you busy for a whole, well, if you've bought all of the colours, they'll keep you busy for what? Maybe an hour. We are going to be off on bank holiday Monday, which is coming up next week. But today is Monday and I'm going to be with you on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, I'm going to be making lovely little birds' nests with you. Lucy will remember it was one of the first lives that I did for Totally Beads about 4 years ago. And they're perfect for springtime, very perfect spring jewellery. I have got one. Do I give you a sneak peek? Do you want a sneak peek, since as we're still a little bit early? Bear with me. Now, I'm not quite sure how the kits are going to go together for this. We could be doing them as earrings, or we could be doing them as a necklace. We might be making them individually, and then you can change them up as you want. And this is what I'm hoping to be doing with you on Wednesday. It is the lovely little bird's nest that we have done before. Originally I did them as pendants and rings, but you can see I've added on this gorgeous little birdie charm as well, which is just so cute. You can have these as earrings, but just as a heads up, they are one direction, as not the boy band, but as in the back is different to the front. So if you do have them in as earrings, the little birdies will be facing the same way. So you won't get that full mirror image, but they do look particularly lovely. You can, of course, just make the bird's nest and leave the birdie off if you want to. Camille says, I remember the bird's nests. I just think it'd be nice to revisit something why I am progressed in my tutorial and my delivery and my making, because they were nice the first time, but I think I could do better now. Kerry Quinn says, I could think of worse things to spend my money on. What she said? I can't see what's Lucy spending. For some reason, I've got a random block in front of a lot of the comments. Is it a new bathroom and kitchen that you're getting? Or is it more beads? Hello, Yolanda. How are you doing? She says, I have to say good day. Start working. Everybody have a great day. We'll catch up on the recaps. Kerry says, I bought loads of beads from Beads Up North. Told my husband you had a sale on. Yeah, we did. We always do. We always do. Today is the Anisa elastic bracelet. Let's see if I can share this for you again, just because Kerry needs to make sure that, she's telling the truth that we have got a sale on. If you would like the Anisa elastic bracelets, they are £2.50 per bracelet in buttermilk, light green, rose pink, royal purple. It is purple, it's not blue, or turquoise. And if you want to get all 5, then there is a sale on today, because they should be £12.50, and today for all 5 you can get them for £8.99. Don't tell them what you've spent, tell them what you've saved. So thank you so much for being with me today. I really hope you enjoyed the live. I hope you can come and play with me on Wednesday for some spring bling. Everybody is Kath. My mum says, we like this bracelet, mummy, which is very odd to have my mummy calling me mummy, but I know that's my Frank. Alison says it's lovely. Kath says, hope everyone enjoys making their jewellery. I'll see you later. Love from Frank. Hello to Agail. She says, hi, I want to start the bracelet business. How do I tie my bracelets and prevent them from breaking? Depends what you're using. If you're using tiger tail, then I love a crimp bead, and you can get a culotte crimp cover, which will hide the ends of your crimp beads, and that saves you having to put like crimp covers over the top. Use a culotte, that's what I prefer. If you're using silk and you wanted to do some kind of say pearl knotting, then I'm a big fan of French wire, or even a wire guardian, which is like a little horseshoe that you pass your thread back through. If you're using elastic like I've done today, then I would suggest a surgeon's knot. Overhand knot, and do it again, and then instead of just pulling it through once, you wrap the thread through twice. That will kind of lock it in place a little bit more. I hope that helps. If you need any tips or any advice, then do follow us on Facebook or on YouTube. I'm Natalie Patton. I think it's just jewellery. Spelt like this in the bottom, and jewellery spelt the English version or the British way of spelling jewellery. Or you can find us on Totally Beads on the website, and we also have YouTube and Facebook pages, and you can go back, Gail, and you can find hundreds of video tutorials in so many different ways. And if you just want to do bracelets, you can search products by bracelets and you can get yourself on the kits. And if you don't want a kit, you've got loads in your own stash, you can just follow along and watch for inspiration. So I'd hope, and I'd really be very delighted if you could come and join us. We are live 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. I'm here every Monday and Wednesday now, and it's always 10 o'clock UK time, and we're usually done by 11. It's 1:45 now. I do a lot of chatting now, so do bear with me. I like to have a chit chat. I hope you're all well. Alison, thank you so much. She says, I love your tutorials. Kat says, we like the bird's nest. Carol said, any tips on making different sizes to sell? When I put the kits together, I always make an 8-inch bracelet to make sure you've got enough materials to make at least an 8-inch bracelet. I have much smaller wrists, so for me, I don't tend to wear an 8-inch. I tend to use 6.5, 7, to be honest. If you are making to sell, and it depends what you're making. So you can always make smaller and add an extender chain on. You can do a macrame technique, and you could have a sliding knot like a Solomon's bar. So loads of tutorials on that. And then you can make like a slider bracelet so it's adjustable in size. I always like to add a little extension chain onto my bracelets, make them slightly smaller, and then they can be worn larger. If it's too big, it's too big. What you could do is you could make, say, 3 standard sizes. You could do a small, medium, large, and always offer the opportunity to take custom orders, Carol, because you're a very experienced jewellery maker. So if somebody says, I really like this, then you can have a couple of samples there to show. Depends how long it's going to take. If it's something like this, you could be making, if you're selling on a stall in like a fete, you could be making while, you've got customers walking past. That always draws people in as well when they can see you, busy doing something. They don't feel as intimidated to come over. But you can offer things in different sizes, and you could ask people, what wrist size they want. You can get bracelet measures. I would just say, if you haven't got a bracelet measure and you want to know the size of your own wrist, I ask people to just measure with like a piece of thread or a measuring tape, and then I can kind of gauge the size for that. I'm only really specific when it comes to rings, to be honest, because a ring has to fit perfectly. If you're making a bangle, and I don't know whether you are somebody who does any like soldering or anything like that. If you're making a fully closed bangle, it isn't the size of the wrist, it's the size of the fist that you need to measure from there to there, because your bangle needs to go over that bit. I hope that helps, Carol. Don't forget to share what you're making, because we would like to see. If you're making this as a necklace, can you use tiger tail, says Heather? You probably could. You might need to just check that you get that nice diamond shape with it. I'd probably use a nylon, to be honest, or like a fire line, because your tiger tail is your pieces of wire wrapped in that nylon coating, so it's a little bit more, I don't know why I'm doing this, it's a little bit more stiff, it's a bit rigid, so it probably would work, but you just need to make sure that you've got the shape right with it. You could use this on elastic, I suppose. I mean, you could always use a culotte and not inside the culotte, not the elastic inside the culotte. And still put a clasp on it that way. Lucy says rose pink is my fave. I haven't seen Lucy comment that for some time. Right, I'm going to go. I hope I've answered everybody's questions. Hello, Jan. She says, sorry I'm late. You just caught me chatting, Jan. I've finished now. Anisa bracelet, if you want to check what we've done. I think I've answered all the questions. Beautiful, Meg. Thank you for showing us. You're most welcome. Anne's going to catch up later. Jan's going to catch up on the replay. Are there anklets on the website? There are, Kerry. Yeah, the last anklet I don't do anklets very often, but I did do an anklet for, what did I call it? Oceania. Oh, I'll be made up if I remember the name of that. 400 tutorials, remember what I call them all. It was an anklet which had and a necklace and matching earrings, and it had like lovely kind of sea mermaid beach vibes to it. So we had like there was some, I think it was the turquoise in there. There was turquoise, there was howlite in there as well. We had 2 colourways. We had like a white and a blue, and I'd mixed them up. So there was like little starfish and little seahorse charms and shells and things like that. If you're making an anklet, you can just make a bracelet, but make it larger. Remember, your foot's going to flex, so it needs to make sure that it's comfortable around the ankle. Carol saying, I do mean for the elastic. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's got that stretch in it, so it should probably, you could stretch that really quite far, but you don't want to stretch it too much that your beads start to separate out. So I would do, I'd try the size with 40 beads on it, if it's this one particularly. Make it so you've got, say, like a 6.5 inch, a 7.5 inch, and an 8 inch maybe, and try it that way. Of course, if you're making for children, it will be smaller again. It's kind of like a trial and error. I wish I had a magic formula. It's the same when people say, how do I cost things? I don't know, but follow the last live and I talked about that a little bit. Lucy saying, request for an ankle bracelet. Can you do one, Natalie? I've done one, Lucy. You missed it, but I will. Oh, is this what this is? What's that? Ah, there you go, the Oceana jewellery set. So if you click on that link, that should take you through. Thanks, Lucy. Gosh, I have missed you. It's nice to feel a bit more organised. I'm almost going to block you, though, so I'm not that organised. So I'm just going to end the live. Right, my lovelies, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for listening to me witter on for so long. I'm going to see you on Wednesday if you can join me. And if you can't, you can always find me on the replay.